Chapter 1.3 European Exploration in the Americas. We've met the three worlds and toured native North America. Now the story turns to Europe and the question that opens the Atlantic Age. Why did Europeans suddenly sail across an ocean they'd long feared? In this chapter, we nail the causes of exploration and meet the early leaders, Portugal and Spain. Let's set sail. Here's the framing for the whole chapter, and it's exactly what the exam asks. The causes of exploration. What pushed Europeans out and pulled them across the Atlantic? It was a perfect storm. Powerful motives, new money and methods, breakthrough technology and fierce competition between rising nation-states. Those new states could finally fund and organize voyages on a huge scale, and the glittering payoff was a direct sea route to the riches of Asia. This is the start of Key Concept 1.2, where contact begins to reshape the entire world. Let's get specific about the motives. Remember God, gold and glory, and add a fourth G, goods. Gold, the hunger for wealth, new markets and profit. God, the drive to spread Christianity, supercharged by Spain just finishing its Reconquista against Muslim rule. Glory, national prestige as kings and queens competed to outdo one another. And goods, the desire for direct access to Asian spices and silk without paying middlemen. Put those four together, and suddenly, the terror of the open ocean was a risk worth taking. Now, the trigger. In 1453, the Ottoman Empire captured Constantinople, the great crossroads between Europe and Asia. Overland trade with the East suddenly grew harder and more expensive, and the lucrative routes were controlled by middlemen, Italian merchants and the Ottomans. So Europe started asking a game-changing question. Could you reach the riches of the East by sea, going around the middlemen entirely? Portugal and Spain raced to be first to find out. 1453 closes the old road and opens the Atlantic. Motives weren't enough. You also needed the technology, and by the 1400s, Europe had it. The caravel was a small, fast, maneuverable ship that could sail into the wind, not just with it. The magnetic compass gave reliable direction, and the astrolabe let sailors find their latitude far out of sight of land. Add the triangular lateen sail for tacking and steadily improving maps and charts, and for the first time, crossing an open ocean became genuinely possible. Tools plus motives equal exploration. There's one more cause that's easy to forget: money and how it was organized. Ocean voyages were wildly expensive and dangerous, so Europeans developed more organized ways to finance them, pooling many investors' money so no single person bore all the risk. This points straight toward the joint stock company, where backers buy shares and split the profits. With cash crops like sugar and goods like spices promising enormous returns, investors were willing to gamble. New business methods funded the age of exploration. Portugal got there first. Under the sponsorship of Prince Henry the Navigator, Portuguese explorers pushed step by step down the West African coast, trading for gold and mapping the way. In 1488, Bartolomé Diaz rounded the southern tip of Africa, the Cape of Good Hope. 10 years later, in 1498, Vasco da Gama sailed all the way to India. Portugal had won the prize everyone wanted: a sea route to Asia by going around Africa. Their motto could be, probe the coast, round the Cape, reach India. Here's a development with enormous consequences. On Atlantic islands like Madeira, the Canaries and São Tomé, the Portuguese and Spanish set up plantations to grow sugar, one of the most profitable crops in the world. To do the brutal labour, they bought enslaved Africans through coastal trade. This island plantation system, cash crop, forced labor, enslaved Africans became the blueprint that Europeans would carry straight to the Americas. In other words, race-based plantation slavery begins taking shape here, before Columbus ever returns. Remember this when we reach topic 1.5. While Portugal sailed east, Spain bet west. The marriage of Ferdinand and Isabella united Spain, and in 1492 they completed the Reconquista by capturing Granada. Flush with confidence, they funded an Italian navigator, Christopher Columbus, to reach Asia by sailing west. In October 1492, he made landfall in the Caribbean. Not Asia, though he didn't realize it, which is why he called the people he met Indians, convinced he'd reached the Indies. Over 4 voyages, Columbus opened sustained contact between Europe and the Americas. The world would never be the same. With both Spain and Portugal claiming newly found lands, conflict loomed, so in 1494 they signed the Treaty of Tordesillas, brokered with the help of the Pope. They drew an imaginary line down the Atlantic. Spain got everything to the west, Portugal everything to the east. That single line is why almost all of Latin America became Spanish-speaking, while Brazil, which bulged east of the line, became Portuguese. 2 nations literally divided the globe between them, a stunning sign of European ambition. Let's lock the dates onto a timeline. 1453, the Ottomans take Constantinople, tightening the overland routes. 1488, Diaz rounds the Cape of Good Hope. 1492, Columbus reaches the Caribbean for Spain. 1494, the Treaty of Tordesillas splits the world. And 1498, Da Gama reaches India by sea. 5 dates, 1 decade of transformation that flipped the center of the world from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic. So where does this leave us? Spain and Portugal led the way, and France, England, and the Netherlands would follow in the next century. That's Unit 2. For now, the key result is sustained contact linking Europe, Africa, and the Americas. And that contact unleashes the next chapter's 2 huge stories: the Columbian Exchange, which transforms both sides of the Atlantic, and the Spanish conquest of the mighty Aztec and Inca empires. Exploration was only the door. In topic 1.4, we walk through it. Let's anchor this to the College Board. T-Concept 1.2. Contact among Europeans, Native Americans, and Africans produced the Columbian Exchange and major social, cultural, and political changes on both sides of the Atlantic. And your specific job in topic 1.3 is narrower and clear. Explain the causes of European exploration and conquest. So when you study this chapter, organize everything under one heading: causes, motives, money, technology, and competition. In theme terms, 2 threads lead this chapter. America in the world. This is the moment the hemispheres connect into one global system. And work, exchange, and technology. The trade networks, the profit motive, and the ships and tools that made it all possible. You'll also see geography and the environment in those ocean routes, and migration and settlement as Europeans begin moving outward. Lead your essays with world and work exchange and technology. 2 skills to drill. First, causation. This entire topic is a causation exercise. Practice sorting causes into buckets: motives, money, technology, competition. And learn to tell a trigger, like the Fall of Constantinople in 1453, from the deeper, longer-term causes. Second, contextualization. Be able to set the scene in a sentence or 2. A Europe of ambitious new nation-states, breakthrough navigation technology, and religious zeal from the Reconquista, all hungry for a piece of Asia's trade. Causation and contextualization win points here. Lock it in. Screenshot this slide. 1. The 4 Gs: God, gold, glory, and goods. Faith, riches, fame, and Asian trade. 2. Caravel, compass, astrolabe, the toolkit that crossed the Atlantic. 3. 1453. The road to Asia closes, Constantinople falls, so Europe sails. And 4. Tordesillas, Spain west and Portugal east. One line split the world, which is why Brazil ended up Portuguese. 4 hooks, and the chapter is yours. 60-second recap. 1. Europe sailed for God, gold, glory, and goods, the sea route to Asia. 2. In 1453, the Ottomans took Constantinople, making overland trade harder and giving Europe a motive to find a sea route. 3. New technology made it possible: the caravel, the compass, and the astrolabe. 4. Portugal led, with Prince Henry, Dias, and da Gama, and pioneered Sugar Island slavery. Spain funded Columbus in 1492. And 5. The Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494 split the world between them and opened the door to the Columbian Exchange. Lock it in. That's Chapter 1.3. Next up, Chapter 1.4. The Columbian Exchange, Spanish Exploration and Conquest. The foods, animals and diseases that crossed the Atlantic, and how Spain toppled the Aztec and Inca empires. It's one of the most important chapters in the whole course. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you there on your way to a 5.